Now let's look at some of the basic principles by which a PLC operates and the components that form the basic system. A programmable controller is composed of two basic sections. Now, the first one is the Central Processing Unit, or CPU, as it's commonly referred to, while the second one is composed of the Input and Output section, or the so-called I/O system. The I/O system is physically connected to the field devices encountered in a machine or used in the control of a process. These input devices include limit switches, push buttons, pressure switches, and analog transducers, such as this data instrument's linear displacement transducer, and also this load cell. Output devices may include motor starters, solenoids, analog indicators, and many others. Note that the I/O interfaces provide the physical connection between the PLC system and the field inputs, and between the PLC and the controllable field output devices. The basic operation of a PLC is relatively simple. During the operation, the CPU reads or accepts the data provided by the input interfaces, which specifies the status of the field devices, then executes the control program stored in the CPU, and writes or updates the output interfaces, which in turn operate the control field devices. This process of sequentially reading the inputs, executing the control program, and updating the output is known as scanning, or simply as the scan. The main purpose of the input and output interfaces is to condition the various signals received from or sent to external field devices. Incoming signals from sensing devices are wired to the input interfaces, while devices to be controlled are wired to output interfaces. To summarize, the primary functions of the input interfaces are to allow interfacing to field sensing devices, sense signals from connected field inputs, pass a recognized signal to the CPU, and provide isolation or no physical or electrical connection between field input devices and the CPU, which decides, according to a program, how to provide control to output devices via output interfaces, whose functions include allowing interfacing to field controlling devices, receiving output command from the CPU, providing control signals to field devices, and also providing isolation between the field output devices and the CPU. Another element of the programmable controller system, although not generally considered part of the system itself, is the programming device. This programming device must be connected to the PLC when entering the control program, or in other words, when you're programming and when you are monitoring the input and output status of field devices during the program execution. Programming devices may include what's called mini programmers. These are small handheld programming units generally used to program small PLCs or to make rather small changes in large PLCs. Although these mini programmers don't display much data on their limited screens, they can be very helpful because of their portability and relatively low cost. The common usage of the personal computer, or PC, in our daily lives has led to a new breed of PLC programming devices. Because of the personal computer, general architecture, and de facto standard operating system, PLC manufacturers and other independent suppliers provide software packages that allow the implementation of the control program, editing, and real-time monitoring using a standard desktop personal computer. It's believed that the personal computer will be the programming device of choice, not so much because of their PLC programming capability, but because they are already commonly present in virtually all locations where the PLC user may be performing the programming. Additionally, the different types of laptop, portable, and desktop computers allow the users to utilize the programming device, in this case, the personal computer, to be used in applications other than the PLC programming, such as spreadsheets, word processing, and many others.